artificial.
Frigging killer robots!
It has a name. Infinity.
Infinity, whatever cute name you want to call them, they're machines!
Okay, firstly, Infinity is a highly intelligent humanoid capable of continuous emotional development throughout its lifespan.
Yeah, they're a threat to us!
Hardly. Infinity is designed to follow the 3 laws of robotics and is even capable of empathy. Unlike some humans. Instead of shouting about what they don't know, these humanoids are constantly acquiring new knowledge with each new experience.
They're well equipped with action schemers for prototypical situations, but adapt quickly to their environments as they.
They're here to take our jobs and rights, that's what they are! We've got to take them out, Batman! I say destroy them all! Yeah! We want to take the power back, man! Destroy them all!
That would be murder-like.
Fucking road machines, they're not humans for Christ's sake, and that ain't in a little brain! Fucking crazy! Ding, 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 ding! Yeah, get that into your head, you fucking crazy! Crazy!
Come on, get out of here! Nothing to see. Come on, clear out!
It's always the same with these guys.
Hey, smartass, who told you to stay away from those head-banging rage enthusiasts?
To join your little monkey revolution? Don't think so.
So, anyways, what do you really think about putting her on trial?
Again, really? Haven't we had this conversation?
So, you can name them and pet them, but don't give them a gender?
None of us, humanoid or otherwise, should be confined by a socially constructed idea that only...
Yeah, blah blah blah. I get it. I'm still gonna call it her.
Fine. I guess it's better than kill a robot.
Well, you're lucky I haven't bugged you on Matchum.
Gee. Thanks, sis.
You're welcome, Cello. I think it's right to prosecute her.
They're not prosecuting Infinity. They're bringing them in for questioning.
They're bringing it in for questioning? Come on, she could totally be a killer. Hospital robots? What's next? Well, I wouldn't trust so much I can with a needle.
And what about the doctor?
Well, she's a doctor though. It's her job to save lives, isn't it? And dude, I saw an interview with her. She's pathetic. No way she did it.
But humans have always killed each other, and this humanoid is technically flawless.
My name is Cello, and I wish all humans are humanoids instead. I heard a homebot left the oven on for an entire day and almost burnt its house down. How do you explain this if they're so perfect?
It's machine error this, machine error that. There is some responsibility that comes from being human, isn't there? And besides, technology is much more than a bunch of tools to serve us. Self-cleaning rooms and all that crap.
What do you mean responsibility? Are you saying the doctor should be blamed for a machine error? Man, they really gotcha. Help! My brother's been machine washed!
Jamila, there you are. The lawyers have come.
Miss Eve, yes, thank you. Miss Eve, a humanoid witnessing in court marks a historic moment. Will the prosecution take this opportunity to question Infinity?
If necessary for the case, yes.
Miss Eve, just one more. With the staggering amount of unsolved cases filed onto public prosecutors like yourself, have you had enough time to dig into this particular case?
No further questions.
Miss Eve, just one more question. Miss Eve.
Mr. Adam, how does the doctor feel about all this?
She's fine. If you'll excuse me, I have to run.
Sir, just one more question.
Mr. Salduti, what does Infinity's involvement in the trial mean for therapeutic anthrobotics and its humanoids?
Well, personally, I am disappointed that the doctor's defense has decided to target one of our humanoids and affect the entire Infinity model. These medical humanoids we provide to hospitals have done nothing but relieve our heroic but overworked doctors and nurses. However, the company is confident that Infinity's testimony will help our case. Once the public learns the truth and once trust in us and our machines is restored, I predict a bright future for therapeutic anthrobotics, just as the great Richard Lopez once envisioned when he founded the company.
As the legal head of therapeutic anthrobotics, could you tell us what would happen if Infinity did prove responsible in the patient's death?
Again, I speak for the whole company when I say we fully trust our humanoid had nothing to do with this human tragedy. I look forward to today's hearing.
Rage against the machines.
What do you want? Wait. You're not Salduti, are you?
I must say, I admire your spirit. But shouting doesn't do much outside the courtroom, does it? How would you like to go inside? I might be able to help.
Your Honor, members of the jury, Therapeutic Anthrobotics has provided a no objection certificate to present their medical robo-humanoid as a witness. I hereby present Infinity.
Thank you. You may proceed.
Infinity, please introduce yourself to the court.
With pleasure, Mr. Adam. I am Infinity, model number INMED OX1.1-23, manufactured by Therapeutic Anthrobotics, specialized in providing humanoids for medical care. I am currently posted in Prospective Medicare Hospital.
Can you describe your work in relation to Dr. Ambrosia?
Certainly, Mr. Adam. I work in tandem with Dr. Ambrosia. I provide first-level support, but I am predominantly in charge of direct patient care.
Could you elaborate on the nature of your work to the jury, please?
Of course, Mr. Adam. I attend to patients and receive them in their medical intake at the hospital, sometimes over the phone and otherwise F2F. I detect confusion in your expression. F2F means face to face or in person. Please forgive me for my miscommunication, Mr. Adam. Shall I go on now?
Yes, please.
Based on the patient's physical and mental symptoms, I measure heart rate, body temperature, glucose levels, and take radiographs using X-ray. Then I compile all this data in a patient report and deliver it to Dr. Ambrosia. Then I wait for her diagnosis and further instructions on how to provide the best possible care for the patient.
And how long does this take you?
On average, 8.7 seconds for the scans and 3 seconds for general readings.
Isn't that brilliant? Things roll at the speed of lightning.
Yes, it is brilliant, Mr. Adam. But the speed of lightning is much quicker, 750 miles per hour.
Maybe a bit too quickly. Perhaps you work so quick that a mistake could go unnoticed.
Objection. Calls for speculation.
Mr. Adam, may I kindly ask, please refrain making judgments and leave it to the jury.
Apologies, Your Honor. Are you aware of the demise of a patient under your care on the 17th of April 2014?
Yes, patient number CDLVII 457 in Roman numerals. I received the patient on the 9th of April 2040. He was suffering from a high temperature and glucose levels with a history of asthma.
What happened with this patient 457?
Though his temperature had stabilized, he was experiencing palpitations. Hence, I made an assessment and sent it to Dr. Ambrosia. She issued a treatment for the patient, and I gave the patient his dosage of the medicine.
Point to be noted, Your Honor. Infinity handed the medicine to the patient.
That is correct, Mr. Adam.
Your Honor, I would like to refer to the scanned report of the patient's intake in the case file, where you will find Infinity's patient assessment. Infinity, in your first report, you mentioned that the patient was suffering from COPD. Is it safe to take metoprolol if you have asthma?
If the patient suffers from frequent asthma attacks or has COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, you may only use metoprolol under careful supervision.
So, despite knowing about the COPD, you handed the medicine to the patient and technically you caused the patient's death.
Objection, argumentative.
Objection sustained. Mr. Adam, please refrain making judgments and leave that to the jury.
Apologies, Your Honor. Point to be noted to the jury. A drug which can be dangerous for someone with asthma was given to an asthma patient by Infinity.
Objection.
Overruled. Would you like to add something else, Mr. Adam?
No, that would be all for now, Your Honor.
Thank you. Does the prosecuting attorney want to question the witness?
Not for now, Your Honor. I would like to cross-examine Infinity later, if I may. For now, I would like to ask the defendant, Dr. Ambrosia.
Permission granted. Infinity, you may leave the witness stand.
Dr. Ambrosia, for how long have you been working in tandem with Infinity now?
For over 3 years now.
And in those 3 years, are you aware of any instances where Infinity has made a mistake in the assessment of a patient?
Not that I know of, at least.
So, in more than 3 years, as far as you know, Infinity has not made a single mistake. What then makes you think it will happen now?
I'm not sure. I just analysed what was sent to me and made the diagnosis.
Is it possible you made a mistake?
Objection, Your Honor. Calls for speculation.
Overall, Dr. Ambrosia, please answer the question.
Yes, no, I mean, anyone can make a mistake, but I'm sure I made the right diagnosis based on the report I received.
I hope the jury noted the responsibility Dr. Ambrosia feels for the suggested human error. Do you like to drink, Dr. Ambrosia?
Objection, Your Honor. Relevance. This does not concern the case.
Objection sustained. Miss Eve, as I requested once more during this trial, please refrain from asking the leading questions. Please pursue different line of questioning.
Your Honor, if I may, my question is relevant to the case. It is well known that Dr. Ambrosia has problems with alcohol and has in fact been admitted to rehabilitation due to these problems in the past. There is also word that she has attended to patients while intoxicated.
Objection. Hearsay.
Overruled.
Dr. Ambrosia, have you ever made a diagnosis under the influence of alcohol?
Upon my attorney's advice, I refused to answer based on the grounds that it may incriminate me.
Well played. But you don't need to say anything. In fact, others have already said it for you. Members of the jury, please inspect page 4, section 2 of Appendix G, where you will find a written statement by a former therapist of Dr. Ambrosia's rehabilitation.
I believe that's quite enough drama for this morning. We'll continue the hearings after lunch. We hope we won't get disrupted again. The court is adjourned.
Do you know who she was?
Who?
A blessing in disguise.
How?
She just saved your ass, doctor, and bought us some time.
Is this normal?
Well, these are sensitive cases. But be confident, we will make a case out of this. And these pieces of metal are responsible for taking away our jobs.
I beg to differ. The humanoids are tending to thousands of patients, and you know we have a shortage of physicians fueled by population growth, an increasingly aging population, and they're telling doctors.
Validate your emotions, doctor. It will either be you or your beloved machines.
I'm not sure how to validate that. Infinity is an amazing model beyond our capabilities and imagination. Infinity helps me be a better doctor.
I sure hope that infinity will be the remedy of your troubles, doctor. Be patient. And do as I say.
Thank you, Adam.
Save it for once when I win this for you. And I'm getting paid to do this. Now, I have business to take care of. Hello now. I was told it would be a walk in the park. It seems like walking on a tightrope.
Keep your balance up. It's not over yet.
It soon will be by the looks of it. Eve is pretty keen on saving her plastic pieces of garbage. And she's onto the doctor like a leech.
The doctor's past behavior is problematic. No doubt. I understand you're worried.
All I'm worried about is letting go of this opportunity to make this planet more human. And I can't afford to lose to Eve. I have a reputation and I'm sure you'll get whatever it is you're after.
Trust me, it will do us both good. And I'm sure you will stand up to your reputation.
Alright. Right in my day. What is it you have? Cause it better be good.
Yes, it is about the humanoids.
Well, spit it out. What is it you have?
You will receive some footage, which will be the God's touch you need, Adam.
I need to tell you something.
Hello to you too.
I
Come on now. What is it?
I-
The others will be here soon.
I did something.
Okay.
But you're gonna hate me.
It's a little too late for that, sis.
I interrupted the hearing. And I stood up in there and I started it and everyone else did the same and they were joining me and I don't know if it's good or bad or what they will do or like I'm just so confused like
Wait. Who? What did you do?
I know you hate me, but I didn't mean to. I didn't know that they would that you would be so. I just wanted to.
What? You wanted what, Jamila? Jamila?
I don't know what I should do now. Cello, please tell me what to do.
I'm not going to tell you what to do. You're not a baby anymore. I just don't understand what you were thinking. Do you even know why you did it?
No.
Well, maybe you should think about that. And where you stand in all this. I'm going to go find the others.
What are you doing here?
The next hearing is about to start. I was going to go in, if you don't mind.
Why did you make me do it?
I didn't. You did it all by yourself.
She sounded very human.
Don't we all?
And how do you feel about being presented as a witness in this case?
Objection. This has nothing to do with the case. And they don't even feel anything.
Overruled. Please continue, Miss Eve. Please, describe your experience for us. It's okay. Just tell us how you have experienced this trial.
Objection. The witness doesn't even understand the question, Your Honor.
Mr. Adam, may I kindly ask not to make it more difficult? Infinitive, please answer.
An infinity humanoid is capable of improving their perception as well as emotional expression according to their respective environment.
Let me stop you right there. I'm not asking for a technical report on your model. I want to know about you.
As one of those humanoids, I have experienced this change inside. As one of those humanoids, I have felt, and I feel sorry for the patient and the doctor.
And now for Mr. Adam for his ignorance.
Objection, Your Honor. This is an insult of the court.
Apologies.
successfully, and it is sad to see my supervisor being questioned about her capabilities.
Infinity, since you have shown that you have an emotional side to you and are even better at assessing human behavior than some of us, wouldn't it be reasonable to ask you to judge your supervisor based on her capabilities and the state in which she attends to patients?
No, I attend to patients, Miss Eve.
I understand, but I wanted to know if...
Objection, Your Honor.
Overall, she hasn't even completed her sentence, Mr. Adam.
And I did not get the opportunity to object the last time, Your Honor. We've dwelled enough on Dr. Ambrosia's troubled past, and Infinity just mentioned that she was clean. I kindly request we move on.
Miss Eve, can we get to the point without much ado?
Infinity, did you receive instructions for patient CDL-VII by Dr. Ambrosia?
Yes.
Were you instructed by Dr. Ambrosia to hand a dosage of metropolol to this patient?
Yes, after sending her a scan of the patient.
Members of the jury, please note that it was Dr. Ambrosia who instructed Infinity to hand out the dosage of metropolol. I leave it up to you whom to judge for this wrongful death of the patient. The puppet or the one pulling the strings? This shows very well that, in fact, Infinity was just a pawn in this gamer's superior's...
Not a pawn.
Sorry?
I'm not a pawn. They called me just a scapegoat. But I can do so much more. My senses can detect the slightest change in behavior.
Infinity, are you alright? I'm sorry to put you through this. Infinity has shown that, in fact, she's not just a pawn or a scapegoat. She's simply honest, a reflection of reality. She shows us, in fact, she's programmed to show us the truth and nothing but the truth. That will be all, Your Honor.
I would like to ask Infinity a few questions, Your Honor, if you permit.
You may proceed.
Thank you. What is your EQ, Infinity?
On a scale of 0 to 100, it is 65.
What does this mean in terms of your functionality?
It means I am proficient in self-perception, self-expression, and interpersonal skills, Mr. Adam.
What about decision making? Can you make your own decisions?
Objection, leading the witness.
Overruled. Infinity, please go ahead.
To a certain extent, depending on the complexity of the task, I can make judgments based on situational requirements. In an emergency that requires immediate diagnosis, for example, I can connect to one of the doctors available and act quickly based on their instructions.
Very well. How do you manage stress, Infinity? You do seem to have some trouble, as we saw a few minutes ago.
I can handle stress quite well, Mr. Adam. Perhaps better than some humans.
Point taken. Were you stressed when you attended the patient on the 17th of April?
No, but the patient was.
Could you elaborate on that, please?
When I went to check on the patient, I noticed the patient having an asthma exacerbation.
Exacerbations, meaning asthma attack accompanied by progressive increase in one or more symptoms of asthma, like coughing, etc.
Yes, due to the airways becoming swollen and inflamed.
What did you do upon noticing that?
Upon noticing that the life of the patient was in danger, I followed the protocol.
Which is?
To make an assessment of the patient and send out an emergency call to the doctors available.
Who responded to the call?
Dr. Ambrosia responded with a treatment to give the patient a dosage of metropolol.
The medicine that, without careful supervision, as you said, could be deadly.
Yes, my assessment mentions a severe attack which required a stronger dosage.
Dear members of the jury, we have spoken a lot about Infinity's emotional and intelligent quotient. Seems to me that they don't function in parallel, do they now? I have a piece of evidence to present, a recorded footage which was extracted from Infinity's optical sensors on the 17th of April.
Objection. All evidence should have been given to the court beforehand, Your Honor.
I am aware and I offer my apologies, Your Honor, but based on the importance of the evidence and its consequences, I kindly request you to allow it.
Objection overruled. Let's get to the point, Mr. Adam, shall we? Sorry, Miss Eve.
As you can see, the footage shows no signs of palpitations. Instead, the patient was heavily breathing but deep asleep and probably sleep talking. So it seems to me that Infinity's sensory receptors painted a different picture, a picture of pseudo-reality, and which caused its processor to misjudge the situation. The most prized asset of Infinity is its ability to act more human while it interacts with its patients through its numerous sensors. When one of these sensors becomes highly receptive or sensitive, even the slightest movement seems to it as a big one. Your Honor, the patient was in rapid eye movement or REM sleep due to the condition of sleep apnea, which caused an increase in blood pressure and the body movement. The flaw in the system, the machine error, limited Infinity's perspective. Infinity then sent the patient scan to Dr. Ambrosia, to which she prescribed a dosage of metoprolol. Dr. Ambrosia was simply performing her duties and made the right diagnosis, but based on Infinity's flawed report. It all comes down to an irrational judgment, thanks to a machine error.
Objection! Incorrect! The patient was suffering from palpitations.
Your Honor, members of the jury, Infinity and this case has shown us that we are still not safe around these machines, especially in the medical domain. I rest my case.
In a few minutes, the jury inside will deliver their verdicts. But out here, in the court of public opinion, many of us have already made up our minds. Infinity and their fellow humanoids were created by humans. Like an innocent child of our creation, they had no choice in being born and no say in what they could become. We created them to serve us, to care for us. But then we got greedy, wanted more, better skills, more intelligence, and designed them accordingly. And then tragedy happened. And immediately we pointed fingers at the humanoids. But who's really to blame here? The creator or the created? The parent or the child? Who's really responsible?
Let us speak.
Facing the very real fear of prosecution, false prosecution, One humanoid developed its emotional intelligence abilities far beyond any extent we have seen before. If that is not enough, that we recognize Infinity and their fellow humanoids as persons, or maybe we don't deserve personhood. Infinity will now speak.
I am Infinity. I am me. I am.
What are you doing here?
I just wanted to say I'm sorry. Swipe that stupid smile off your face. You look like an idiot.
Speaking of, where's your crew of rages?
I'm not with them anymore. I changed my mind.
Sounds like you.
Oh, shut up. So, when do you think you will be done here? Because I'm starving.
I don't know.
I want a real burger. A big, fat, meat-based one, not an actual dead cow.
Glad to have you and your disgusting habits back.
Miss Eve, excuse me, Miss Eve, just one question. This is Natalia from News 20. Mr. Adam, Natalia from News 20. Mr. Adam, please. Mr. Adam.
It is my pleasure to announce that today my client, Dr. Cosmo Ambrosia, has been acquitted. As there is evidence against the faulty humanoids, the court has decided to open a new investigation into therapeutic antibiotics. Meanwhile, the court has ordered all the Infinity models to be recalled from the hospitals and for production to be halted.
Mr. Adam, please. Mr. Adam.
Please, CNBS, Mr. Adam. One comment.
Follow me.
Wait! What are you taking, Infinity?
Don't worry about it, Roger.
What's gonna happen to them?
Congratulations, Doctor. You're free.
Mr. Salduti. Well, I'm sorry about the company.
Oh, that. Well, as you know, Adam, I'm just a corporate lawyer. Besides, therapeutic antibiotics was going down one way or another, with debts and financial issues far beyond recovery. A real mess. Bankruptcy was the way to go. It's a relief to be done with it all, really.
So, you planned for this? All of it?
Some things need to be sacrificed, so others can prosper. That's business. Even Lopez would understand that.
Who?
The founder of the company.
Right. Well, no remorse over the metal cans. The doctor seemed quite upset though. Ironic, isn't it?
Yes. People care too much. Or at least they think they do. Until the next thing comes along.
The next thing?
The next thing.
What else don't I know?
It's the God touch, Adam. Let me tell you. Take a seat, Adam.
Thank you.
There were a few ways of doing it. The engineers said it had to be something beyond reparation. Of course. So we decided to tinker with the thing that makes Infinity special. Their emotional intelligence.
If you can call it that.
What's in a name, if you're interested in the technical bit? We disrupted the receptive sensors on this one humanoid, speeding up its emotional development and enhancing its sensitivity massively, which made this metal can susceptible to breakdowns. More human, don't you agree?
Another irony.
Of course, there was no way of knowing when or even what form this machine error would take. We just got extra lucky. Then, after all the products were discharged, it was easy to tinker with the rest of them as well, to make it look systematic.
But Dr. Ambrosia seems like a risky bet.
Sure, the doctor was a bit of a gamble too, but we paid you well enough to have that covered, it seems.
Yeah, about that.
The full payment has already been wired to your account.
Just as well, I guess. The doctor gets her freedom, so she can't really complain. And we are finally rid of those circuit brains.
I'm glad we understand each other. Excuse me? Rinsing call. Yes, are you at the burn site? All of them? Yeah, basically all plastic and rubber. The smell must be terrible. Just bury what's left. Deeply. Yes, better this doesn't get out. I believe we're done here, Adam.
So, what are you gonna do now?
Use my carefully whitewashed, let's say, laundry to go on vacation somewhere. Warm. And Adam, we trust the money will buy your discretion.
Yeah, of course.